position, sir.
This press briefing is going to be a very unique one, because over a period of time, the party has come out with positions that reveals quite a lot in our dear country. But this time around, we want to put it squarely to the publishers and the media executives that on our part, we have done nothing about the ongoing in the country. Rather, what we are bringing to light is what Nigerians have witnessed over the last few months, or what is going on within government. So it is no longer politics as usual, or what the propagandists will regard as opposition. I believe that the PDP, yes, we're in opposition, but we have been very, very constructive. And today, we will talk on the issues that are very germane in our country and what is currently going on. I would like the press to note that it is not politics. This has to do with the Nigerian people. Let's not regard everything that happens as politics. It's affecting us, it's affecting me directly, it's affecting every person, it's affecting the press. So it's incumbent on the media. They fought several wars before, even during the military, that this time they have to join hands with the rest of Nigerians to fight this virus. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen of the press, the press conference today is tagged Nigeria a free fall as corruption, insecurity engulfs our nation. Gentlemen of the press, I have had to call you again to discuss the frightening development in our country. As an opposition party, the PDP has screamed endlessly to high heavens, but it is becoming very clear to all that the ears we are targeting are deaf, as nothing on ground shows that there is a government in the country. No attempt is being made from any corner to stem the frightening tide in our land. No effort is being made from any angle to halt the ongoing free fall being witnessed in all fronts, in all facets of our economy in this country. Nigerians have become helpless and have come to accept and live like citizens of nations without leader and with no direction. Where do we start looking at the state of the nation when all segments of governance have collapsed? Do you talk about the security? or the economy. Security and insecurity. Nothing establishes the fact that there is no governance in our country more than the worsening state of insecurity, having exhausted their propaganda of winning the war on terrorism. Only in their press releases, as reality endured on all, both the military and political leaders of our country are now helpless and confused. What the Nigerian Senate did last week, Tuesday, when it asked the service chiefs to resign, was to show the world that there is no executive arm of government in place. Having a few months back advised the executive to sack the service chiefs for having outlived their relevance and to re-engineer the military for the emerging challenges, and having watched the security situation in the country grow from worse to worse, the legislators have limited option but to do what they did at last, to show the people that they represent that they are sensitive to their plight, just the needful. Not even during the 3 years brutal civil war did we witness as much as over 300 soldiers absconding their duties and pouring abuses on their commanders. Only poor leadership from the military and the polity can drag down morals of soldiers to such pitiable level. On this note, can I ask the leaders of our party to stand up for a minute silence, to observe this silence for our departed soldiers who have been killed in several fronts in the northeast and the northwest, because they are the real heroes of our country. May their soul rest in perfect peace. To challenge the Senate, and that shows the level of confusion in the system. Corruption. Since Transparency International said a few years ago that the worst corruption was going on in Nigeria under this regime, the situation has continued to worsen. It has now become a bazaar with no pretense about it, with all critical agencies of government, ministries, including the anti-graft body themselves, grossly engulfed in it. The nation's economy is walking to depression because we're already in recession, and it's being fast-tracked by the widening scope of corruption involving operatives at the high places. The free-for-all corruption going on all over the country leaves us with the impression that the country is dying, and there has been scrambled for those of them that are there for what they can get out of it, maybe before the final demise. It is frightening, it is very disheartening that as the looting and relooting of the nation's resources are going under the watch of the acclaimed anti-corruption president. No serious reaction is coming from government that prides itself to be fighting corruption. They are not fighting corruption. That's the propaganda. They just deceive Nigerians that they are fighting corruption. But Nigerians have seen it is not from PDP, neither from the rest of Nigerian people, but from themselves, those who are in government and the APC government. Rather than confront the already exposed corruption cases, the government deliberately takes cautious steps to play it down with a view to protecting their members who are neck deep in the growing slides. Nothing brings out the exact character of President Buhari's administration to corruption than the going free for all fraud in the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, where the so-called forensic auditors sent by the president to unearth the fraud are they themselves becoming visible accomplices to the crime. The Senate has already indicated that the interim management committee and the supervising minister the commission set up to helping the suffering people of Niger Delta has become the bank and the bank for all APC members. Fraud at glance. Gentlemen of the press, you are aware that in the past few weeks we have been inundated with several high-level corruption in this government. Number one, the 100 billion crude oil sale in China by Sahara Energy, as reported by Point Blank. It is not coming from the PDP. Number two, over 1.3 trillion spent between 2015 and 2019 by the NDDC that mismanaged and misappropriated the funds, alongside with 4.9 billion outside the budget approval of NDDC. The National Insurance Trust Fund, 3.4 billion fraud confirmed by the Minister of Labor. Number four, the growing fresh fuel subsidy fraud. Number five, unaccounted 100 billion for the East-West Development Commission. This was reported in the House of Representatives yesterday. Not to talk about the billions being siphoned in the name of palliative at the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry. The ongoing looting and relooting in the EFCC and the matter that is standing with the Presidential Committee or panel headed by Justice Salami that involves the ex-EFCC chairman, Magu, up to the tune of 39 billion. The acquisition of banks and communication companies by cabals in government amounting to billions of dollars. And of course, the CBN car park for 30 billion. Gentlemen of the press, these facts are available to you online. They are the issues that are currently going on in our country, in the National Assembly, so they are no longer news. So that you don't think that it is PDP that is coming with a propaganda. Those are facts. And that was why I said we should not play politics with it. Because it has to do with our daily living and the entire country. And if these are going on in government, it means that with the loans already obtained from China, amounting to $35 billion to $100 billion, the country by now, and you will agree with me, that the country is on ventilator. Nobody knows what will happen. Looking for gas. Gentlemen of the press, it is your responsibility to clearly look at this government eyeball to eyeball with your publishers, not to play politics with Nigerians, but to go deep, to investigate and to publish and bring to the knowledge of Nigerians all that is going on in this government. The government is confused. The government has no leadership and no direction. We want to thank all of you for coming. This is only to inform Nigerians that we in PDP are aware and we are praying. Nigerians should not be distracted by the drama playing out in the various fraud cases, whether in Asu Villa with Ibrahim Magu or the National Assembly with two ministers, Akpabio and Chris Ngige, entertaining Nigerians. They have become Nollywood. They are designed to remove public attention to the real issues. In this country, under the watch of Mr. President and his APC, we have found ourselves in the environment, as the French economist Frédéric Bastiat said, that when plunder becomes a way of life for a group of men in the society and government, over the course of time, they create for themselves a legal system that authorized it on a moral code that glorifies it So what we can see today is that corruption is going on, and they are justifying the code for corruption. And they now glorify it and make it fun of it. Finally, gentlemen of the press, what we are witnessing in our country today is a total collapse of the nation. And Mr. President should do the honourable thing as required by law. An elder statesman. He's been a military head of state before, and now a civilian president. Wouldn't it have been better for him at this point, in confusion and in total collapse of the way of life of Nigerians, for him to throw in the towel? Because Nigeria is on ventilator, gasping for air. Save our country now and save us from the rings. Thank you, and God bless all. But with what we have witnessed today, the aim had been defeated. It is left for government to now call those in charge of these two commissions to order, as recommended by the National Assembly, and seriously look for Nigerians who can do the job to deliver the aims and objectives for establishing those commissions. They are necessary. These two areas have been affected either by war or by the environment. And we're all Nigerians, but nothing to show for it. So it is high time for Mr. President to quickly, as much as possible, Senate has recommended, House of Representatives has recommended, there are Nigerians, honest Nigerians, who can do the job. That will be our suggestion from this end. The second question, the laws are there to govern the people. And our country is developing, so also the laws are developing. We are sure that the National Assembly from time to time will amend these laws to suit the situation which we find ourselves. So we urge the National Assembly to quickly look at these laws and amend them as necessary in order to enforce the law, to make sure that those who have stolen money cannot escape. That will be our answer. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. I believe that when this current government came in 2015, and of course, the agenda, number one agenda, was to fight corruption. Nobody was against it. The laws are there. It is for them to enforce it. So if you have taken anybody, Nigerians or PDP, to court, it is your turn now to do exactly the same, so that the world can see that you are actually fighting corruption. But Nation newspaper were also aware that bullion vans were delivered in several areas in our country. And the medias are not talking. As you were there and the media spoke aloud when the regime took over, let them also now speak aloud so that the world will see, so that the security agencies should concentrate in resolving our problems, including defending our country, not deploying them for elections. We believe that the PDP will always stand by the truth and nothing but the truth. If they have prosecuted our people, they should prosecute themselves, no matter highly placed. The panel in the villa, like I said in my press statement, is that where it's supposed to be? It should be in the public place where people to go and hear what is going on. Are they conducting secret hearing of panels of corruption? Secret hearing. Media expose that. Thank you.